It's our podcast. We could do what we want. It's our podcast. We can do what we. Mike Will
Mike
made
Will
it.
made it.
Did you guys know that Mike Will did in fact make it?
It's kind of crazy the concept of Mike Will making it.
Yeah.
You
Cuckoo.
you
And the
put the
other
Mike and the
producer
Will
tag,
together,
I have no
and then you
And you
idea.
just
just
make
make
it.
it.
Wait, what's the other producer tag?
I don't know. It's the one that's like, I don't know what's being said,
Is it the
but
one that's kind of like drum?
yeah, I think so. It's on a lot of the songs. I
I
don't know.
always just thought
Oh.
it was like somebody saying drums. Like
Well, isn't
like
it also on Partition?
yes, it is. Drums, drums. Do 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 do.
Well, we'll see if Genius Lyrics is
It
anything.
must be it. Well, I have the producers.
Got it.
Anyway, we can figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
How are we doing?
Great.
Um, we're doing great on this fine Memorial Day. How are you doing?
Oh yeah. Doing great.
Well, that's great to hear. That's
Maria's
what
still looking up the sample.
It's
Mike Will made it.
it says ear drummers.
What does that mean? That's the people who
Yeah.
made it?
I suppose. Publisher ear drummers.
No, I really don't know what
In
that has to do with
2006,
anything.
Mike Will started his own production company called Ear Drummers Entertainment.
Oh,
The
so
Oh,
it's connected to Mike Will. It's
it's
an
Mike
additional
Will.
to
very
Mike
well.
Will.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, I
Got it.
guess. So I guess Mike Will's on Partition.
Maybe he is.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
That
whoa,
that
whoa.
the concept of Mike Will being on Partition. Yeah, well, on Wikipedia it says he's worked on Formation.
That does kind of sound like a Mike Will song.
Yeah, it does. Interesting.
Wow.
Well, we're in Bangerz land, aren't we, Drew?
Yes.
Yes.
But before we
Very
get
excited.
into bangers, we're gonna get into our hot
Hot
tracks.
tracks.
Yes.
Drew.
Oh, so I go first.
Was the system? Yes.
Okay, so I was gonna choose one song and then I decided not to. So
Uh,
I I am gonna go with this one song that I just did a Peloton ride to. And Levi and I have talked about this song a lot. And it's been like years since we've talked about it. It is like the deepest of the deepest cuts. But my song this week is the song Alice by Avril Lavigne.
Oh my God, that song is so good.
Oh my God, that song is so good.
I
I
did, it
love that
was,
song.
I did an Avril Lavigne ride and I was like kind of just thinking it would just be, like the
The
normal hits
hits.
or
Yeah.
whatever. And like halfway through, I was like out of breath, whatever. And then I sit down and I'm like, because it takes a minute for the song to kick in for it to show you what song is actually playing. And I was like, wait, the beginning of this song sounds like We Are Young by Fun. Because it has the like
Oh,
beat,
it
it has the
does. Yeah,
exact
it
same beat
does.
as that. So I was like, what? Does she have a cover? And then the song came up and I was like, oh, we're about
The
to,
part in the song when she goes up the octave and she's like, I'm
I'm
freaking
freaking
out.
out. Yup.
Oh my God.
She
Oh,
was
the
robbed of an
concept.
original song nom. Like
Robbed.
robbed of an original song nom.
The
That song should
concept.
have been bigger than My Heart Will Go On.
Agreed.
Whoa.
Maria,
Like,
yes,
I'm just
the
saying.
concept.
The concept of there not only being an Avril Lavigne Peloton ride, but Alice by Avril Lavigne playing during the Avril Lavigne Peloton ride is like out of this world.
Out of this world.
No, it literally is so Drew, you're so right. It should be the biggest song from a movie ever. It's so good. I remember I used to watch that video all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, I love
I'm freaking out. Where
Where
am I
Am I
now?
Now?
She's
Oh my
also such
God.
a pop girly. She has such influence. Like, we need to do an Avril episode, but
Oh,
like,
I mean,
we have
she
a
is
lot to cover.
so formative to like what current pop music sounds like. I don't really think people talk about that enough, but like that this like current sound doesn't exist without her. I mean, it just
No.
doesn't. I think she's a big Taylor influence. I think you can see a lot of.
Totally.
There's so many
I
Taylor
mean,
songs that sound
Alice
like Avril
sounds,
songs. Yeah, it
I
does.
mean, she could have written that.
I mean, there's a lot of. There's a lot. I can just tell that like that's somebody who I'm sure Taylor listened to in middle school.
Complicated is such a Taylor Swift song.
Such a Taylor Swift
Oh
song.
yeah.
Girlfriend is such a Taylor Swift song.
Oh,
I'm with you.
all of those on the
Oh
ride.
And
yeah.
and if we're gonna really get deep into the Drew Levi lore, the Cassidy
Cassidy
Pope
Pope,
covers. The Cassidy Pope covers. Do you know who Cassidy Pope is, Maria?
The Voice.
Winner
No,
of
This
season
is
three
the
of The Voice,
voice.
no.
who Drew and I also love.
Freaked out, wasting all these
Um,
tears.
oh my God, Torn.
Oh,
What's your favorite Cassidy Pope cover from from?
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you's maybe like I'm with you's either two or three. I am such a slut for Over You though,
Oh,
because like the emotion she has in Over You, it's so good. Oh,
I just
Cassidy Pope
unlocked
needs
something.
she needs to guest
She was
star.
in Titanic,
She
I
was.
think. I think.
She should be in Cabaret.
Wait, that's good.
I probably wouldn't do much for revenue, but she should do it. She could be the alternate. I don't know. I
Right.
love, I love, I love Cassidy Pope, Avril Lavigne. Yeah, yeah, great. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Um, excellent choice, Drew. Maria, would you like to go next?
Sure. Well, my hot track is going to be a song that I was listening to a ton because I started watching Pose for the first time.
Oh,
And this song is featured in the pilot episode. And I was also running errands today and it played in the Gap. And I was like, whoa, do they know that I've been listening to this a ton? Like, this is crazy. And it's Ain't Nobody by Shaka Khan.
Shaka
So,
Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Which yesterday, when all three of us hung out, I walked into Maria Manor and that was what was playing
Yeah.
in
I'm
her
like
house.
so into that song right now. Like, it's so good.
I
It's
don't know if
literally
I can't hear what it sounds like. I'm sure I
Ain't
know it.
nobody.
Oh,
Dun
okay.
dun 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 dun.
make me happy, makes me
I just
feel
can't
this
get over
way.
RuPaul in that green dress going, Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Well, that's why I was like, is Maria doing like a RuPaul radio mix? Is that why this song is playing in Maria Manor right now? Because like I was
She's
just
like,
so confused.
she's
I never
subtly.
had heard you listen to Shaka Khan before.
Oh, okay. It's like I just love like Maria must be making a subtle nod to RuPaul because she's listening to Shaka
I
Khan.
mean, that's not off base, Maria.
That's not off base.
It's not off base. What's
Well,
that one song
also
that you guys
like
love?
Huh?
one, there's 100.
But there's that
Cake and
one
Candy
RuPaul
though,
song, Cake and
Cake and
Candy.
Candy.
You guys talk about Cake and
which
Candy
sounds like Shaka Khan.
Well,
more
Drew
than
like
anyone else talks about anything.
Drew cries when he listens to Cake and Candy.
That is such a lie.
You
I have
You
cry?
never cried to Cake and Candy before.
I swear to God, you've like probably texted me before, like, oh, just cry listening to Cake and Candy. Like,
No,
obviously
I think
satirical.
Maria, you're confusing the conversation we had
Jump.
yesterday about me crying to Jump by Madonna.
Well, I'm not. No, I mean, I those are separate memories, for sure. I'm not crazy, but yes, I know
Oh,
what we're talking about.
should we just gaslight Maria for the rest of the episode and be like, Maria, you sound so crazy
Yeah,
right
I just
now.
live like, well, no, you must be confusing some other separate
I
memory
guess you
from
just
something
have
I said
never made that
yesterday.
accusation before, and we just had that conversation yesterday, so I thought there maybe have been a conflation. But I'm
Sure.
down if if those are allegations, I'm down for a trial, you know, um, jury come in and see what the verdict is.
Sometimes the hot tricks conversation get like really spicy actually, and I'm never like prepared for it. You know what I mean?
Spicy. I don't feel
Like
like this
sometimes
was.
like we kind of end up like quarreling a little bit, and I'm like never prepared for when that happens.
Oh, I don't feel like we're quarreling.
We're
Oh.
just kikiing.
It's that one Drag Race quote. It's like, we're having open discussion, mama.
Um, well, Shaka Khan. That's my hot track.
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. So yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about though, like look up the RuPaul Shaka Khan clip. It's really funny because she gets asked something about like astrophysics, like on like that, it's like a
Some
game
game
show.
show. What is it? I don't know what
I
it
forget
is.
what it
Oh,
was.
Weakest Link.
Oh yeah.
And I also don't think this is the first time we've talked about that clip on the podcast. For some
Really?
reason, I think we've talked about Shaka Khan.
Wait, I kind of think you might be right. I'm getting deja vu.
I am too major.
We talk about a lot of stuff though. We kind of are like
Yeah,
we kind of cover global events if you think about it.
kinda.
Like if it's been mentioned multiple times, it's because it's culturally relevant, important to society,
Yes.
and should be taught
His
in history books and
Yeah,
classes
I
in
mean it's
schools.
in the anything that we talk about has an exhibition right now either at the Louvre or the Met. Like that's just
Right.
what's happening.
Yeah,
Because Pop Girlies Stadium has not been built.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we don't have the memorabilia like gallery yet.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, there will be like an education wing of the Pop Girlie
The
Stadium.
Pop Girlies Education Center.
Yes,
Wait, no,
like
no, no, because all those things like like in like the Nashville like Country Music Hall of Fame, there's Taylor has the Taylor Swift Education Center. It needs to be named after someone like the Queen Honey Education Center.
oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely.
Uh
Okay, Levi, what's your hot track?
yeah, okay, I'll go. My hot track is one of my favorite songs by my favorite artist, Miss Tay. It's I've been listening to it pretty much every day. It's I just think one of the most beautiful songs she's ever written. It's kind of been getting me through the last few weeks. It's the title track from Evermore. So the song Evermore featuring Bon Iver. Evermore is like, I mean, I love Evermore. I'm not a shooter for it, and I do eh, have problem with Evermore conspiracy theorists because there are Evermore shooters who will try to look me in the eye and tell me that it's like shits on folklore, and that's just I'm not about that propaganda. No, no, no. No,
Is
no,
that
no.
is the conspiracy that people think it's better, or is there anything else going on there?
No, I mean, I'm just calling it conspiracy theory because I want to negate the validity of their statements.
So malicious.
No, but there's so many people who like think that like Evermore shits on folklore. Like the amount of times I've heard Evermore has better songs. I'm like, where? That's just not actually no, Ellen, that's not the truth. That's
God,
just not
if
the truth.
only we had this podcast when Evermore came out. Do you remember the FaceTime call that we had?
Yeah, no, it's the only time I've listened to. I mean, I love it now. It took a second, and it was released during finals week. We were so stressed the fuck out.
We were
I
right. We both had like what? It was like a 15-page
A
paper
huge
due the
essay.
next
Yes,
day.
yes. It was horrible. Um, it wasn't a great time for any of us. Was it the Hislop paper that we had due the next day?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Because we
bad.
both had the same paper that we were both working on. And
Um,
then, yeah.
Oh, it was bad. But she released it and it was like I just didn't get it. And it was like, oh my God, do I not like a Taylor Swift album? It was bad. But Evermore was one of the songs I liked first listen. And
Yeah.
now it's just like, I don't know, I just think that is like I think that's one of her best songs, like point blank,
Yeah.
period.
Oh, for sure.
Is that your number two from Evermore, Drew? Because Ivy's your number
I don't
one,
know.
right?
We need to do Evermore like at the end of the year, kind of. Because like,
Yeah,
I would love to revisit it.
it's a winter fall album for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure, for sure.
You like Evermore, don't you, Maria? That's one of your fave Taylors.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, Evermore's amazing. I just do think like Folklore's a better album put together. I think it's more refined. I think it's
Totally.
more sophisticated put together. I mean, Evermore's a little hokey pokey, but by design, it's a little more hopscotch, quilt patchwork. It's a little kookier. Um, so that's what I have to say on that. Uh, yeah,
Amazing choice.
kind of all very different vibes, the three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
We have
pretty
we
very
have
different
the greatest
actually.
song in movie history. We have Shaka Khan and then Depression.
Yeah.
Well, On that
Yeah,
note,
Levi, I hope you're okay.
this pain will not be forevermore.
I know
Um,
when you were saying like it's my favorite Taylor Swift song, I was like, oh no, it's gonna be a sad one today. Because I'm like, I don't think Levi's favorite Taylor Swift songs are the
there is at least like one really happy song in my top 10. Because I know Fearless is in my top 10.
yeah,
Because just there's something about the way the street looks
yeah.
right, just right. Like there just is, and people have to talk
I mean
about
like
it.
kind of like greatest title track of all time.
Like like I mean, you hear that drum and everybody's bowing down in worship. That one drum kicks in and everyone drops their knees, starts speaking in tongues, and praises Taylord. That's what happens when
Speaking
Fearless
in
title track
tongues.
plays.
Right.
There's levitation going on. Okay, should we get into
Okay,
bangers?
should we get into this Bangers gig?
Well, yes.
Okay. So this week we are doing Bangers by Miley Cyrus.
Bangers.
Bangers was released on September 13th, 2013. It's 13 tracks and 50 minutes long. And then we're also going to talk about the deluxe. So we'll talk about it all in full um, in our kind of breakdown of the tracks. So the deluxe version has 16 tracks total. It's her fourth studio album. It actually follows her third album, Can't Be Tamed, which was her last album on Hollywood Records that she famously left because she just Hollywood Records was popular at the time for like the Disney kind of adjacent artists. And she left that record label to do Bangers. And so this album obviously is a huge shift in genre and tone for Miley. So she kind of went from like, I mean, pretty standard pop to this kind of like R&B, hip hop, pop kind of um mix, I would say. Like I there's also like some country in there, which is really interesting. Um so yeah, it's kind of genre is kind of interesting for this album. I would classify it maybe as like pop hip hop if I don't even know. I think, yeah, maybe that. It features collaborations with Britney Spears, Big Sean, French Montana, Future, Ludacris, and Nelly. I read a lot about Bangers. Obviously, it's such a huge pop era. So I wanted to kind of like dig into the kind of what got her into writing Bangers. So actually in the early 2010s, she was planning on acting. She was planning to just focus on acting. But actually she signed on to do the Hotel Transylvania franchise and got fired because she was too controversial, like public image, because she had a photo of her licking a cake. Did you guys know that?
Yes, I isn't it like a genitalia? It's like a penis cake, isn't
I
it?
don't know. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
But
it's
I just
dick
saw that.
cake.
Oh. But yeah, she got fired from that. So Selena took that.
I mean, you know, you got to do what you got to do. If there's a dick cake, you
Yeah,
got to lick it. I guess that's what you do.
right. And post about it. Um,
She got so
it
much unnecessary hate though at
oh
that
yeah.
time. I
Oh,
mean,
I'll get
do you
into
guys
that.
remember the Disney Channel years like before when she had that Annie Leibovitz like I think it was Rolling Stone cover and she was in that photo shoot where she was in like the bed sheets and like naked under the bed sheets. Do you
Oh, I
guys
don't
remember
remember
this?
that.
That was like the amount of criticism that she got from that. Look that up. It's like it's I'm pretty sure it's an Annie Leibovitz cover. Yeah. Oh, it was Vanity Fair. It was Vanity Fair. Yeah, she it was like it was one of her biggest controversies. It was in 2008. So we were all kind of young, but it was like at the peak of Hannah Montana and she's like naked with like a bed sheet over herself.
Yeah.
Oh
It's just
yeah.
stupid.
Wow.
She's been treated pretty horribly. But
Horrible.
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so that she kind of took a turn from acting. She was doing kind of like flop movies like that LOL movie or LOL. That
I
movie
even
was I think
LOL'd.
yeah. Uh So that was, I think, wasn't Demi Moore in that?
I
Yeah.
think she was,
She
yeah.
plays her
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Have you, Maria?
Yeah.
I think I saw it like a long time ago, but
It
I don't
takes
really
place in
remember it.
Chicago.
Oh,
Oh,
does it
really?
really? I definitely haven't
Yeah.
seen it then.
Well, you know what I did see in theaters, crying my eyes out? The last song.
The
The
last song.
last song, When I Look at You, another great original
Now,
song.
let's talk about that. Let's talk, well, not now, but
Right.
in sometime.
So in the interviews leading up to the album release, she explained how she was having fun making music for the very first time in her career and described the genre of Bangerz before Bangerz was released as dirty South hip hop, which I don't know if I would classify it as that, but like definitely interesting from the artist to hear her classify it as that. Um, she made the album with Mike Almeida, who we kind of referenced earlier, and then she also made it with Mac Miller, Pharrell Williams, and Tyler the Creator. So obviously there's a huge hip hop influence to the production of it as well. Um, and with the album's content, it deals a lot with her relationship to being famous and like what that means. But it also, I mean, I think it's one of the latest. I mean, I'm trying to think of the latest, like, kind of good girl gone bad era that we've kind
Yeah.
of talked about when we did erotica. Um, this felt like the modern version of that almost.
Yeah, I mean, it
Like,
definitely was like, it was like the biggest one since like Stripped and like
yeah,
Britney. I think maybe since then, like, I don't know, could you count Revival as that? Like, not really.
no, I wouldn't count it as that. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I mean, because like Olivia Rodrigo, first album out was like s saying the F-bomb.
yeah,
It's different now.
yeah, it's very different. Yeah. So, yeah, so it's kind of about her in this relationship and turning into someone else, like someone that the public someone different from what the public perceived her as. I think it also talks about like reinvention and that sort of theme of that. But it is grounded too in her relationship with Liam Hemsworth. There's a lot of songs about him, and it kind of there's kind of it's hard talking about in retrospect because they obviously got married after this album came out, but there I think it was kind of going on during a time where they were on a bit of a break or on a downward spiral from their relationship. Um, and the album kind of does go through that journey, like from Adore You to Someone Else. So I think that's really interesting. Um, so kind of about the rollout of it, We Can't Stop was released as the lead single on June 3rd, 2013. It ended up peaking at number two. Um, I think the big kind of starter of this kind of shift in Miley's perception was the We Can't Stop music video, which is so spectacular. I remember watching it. I was on like my family used to do like a fishing trip, and I remember that's when it came out. And I watched it probably like 500 times when I was on the trip. I just like the music video is so inherent to understanding like the era because it encapsulates it perfectly. It's just like a huge party. I don't know. I mean, were house party music videos like a thing before We Can't Stop? I was thinking about it. I rewatched all the music
Yeah.
videos
Like
before.
Just Dance. Just Dance is like the first one I can
Oh
think
yeah,
of.
I
That's
guess
like
yeah,
a
Just
house
Yeah.
party.
Dance.
Yeah.
Then I feel like there's a lot of like that, like those kind of like DJ, like EDM kind of music videos, that all kind of have that like vibe.
Yeah. I feel like We Can't
Yeah.
Stop is my favorite house party music video though.
I mean,
I mean, it's iconic.
it's
Yeah.
iconic. The skull made out
It's
of French
iconic.
fries.
Yeah. I mean and it so encapsulates 2013. Like
Yeah.
the EOS lip balm with that looks like the eggs and like the Beats pill and
Yeah, with I
like
was gonna say too, it's that's like I'm glad that you mentioned that because this music video is my first memory of product placement in music videos because
oh
it's so
really?
prominent. It's like the first thing I can remember thinking back to like when I started watching music videos. I was like, oh, I'm being advertised to in this. Like that's like my first conscious memory of that.
Well, and I associate 2013 so much with like the start of YouTube influencer culture. Like that
hmm
was kind of the start for when I started watching like YouTube as my kind of like main source of content. And that music video reminds me so much of that because I don't really exactly know why. I think maybe just because Bangers was so popular during that time, and I felt like everyone that I followed on YouTube was obsessed with it. But yeah, I just think that's really interesting. So yeah, so then Wrecking Ball was the second single. And the music video actually broke the Vivo record for the most views in 24 hours. And it was at the time the fastest video to reach 100 million views, and it hit it in 6 days. And it won the VMA for Video of the Year as well. So yeah, that's really cool. Kind of like a huge moment for her. And it was her first number one song on the Hot 100. So yay. Um, so yeah, and then I think the main kind of uh event of the whole Bangers era was definitely the MTV Music Video Awards performance that she did
Hmm.
with Robin Thicke. It was actually, I didn't know this, it was the most tweeted about event of all time. Um
Really?
yeah. And it beat Beyonce doing the Super Bowl by like 100,000 tweets or something. Like it like knocked it out or something.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
remember that so
Which
vividly.
I mean, I do
so
too. It's
vividly.
yeah. I close my
Yeah.
eyes and I see the like nude, like
Yep.
latex outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you don't know, she basically performed We Can't Stop, and then Robin Thicke came out and they performed Blurred Lines together, and she had like a wardrobe reveal to like the Blurred Lines kind of outfit, and she was like basically she had a foam finger and was doing some nasty stuff with the foam finger, and then her and Robin Thicke were getting into it.
Well, and the
Um,
twerking, like that's when
yeah,
that
Yeah.
moment is when
Peak
like
twerk
twerking
culture.
became part of like my lexicon as like a 13-year-old. And like I knew what
yeah,
twerking was.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because then too, like that was peak of me being like One Direction stan and like One Direction stan Twitter and all of that. Because also so much of that at the VMAs was like, oh my gosh, here's like the feed of like the audience of celebrities reacting to it. So then
yeah.
it's like so everyone like talking about like all the One Direction members like reacting to her performance and like all of this sort of stuff.
Wait,
Um,
Levi, was that the VMAs that Taylor said shut the fuck up and
Shut the
got
fuck
caught?
up. Yeah, it is. Do you know about that, Maria?
The
no.
funniest thing ever.
During the One Direction's when they accepted an award that night, like during I think when Harry was talking, because there was those audience cams, one caught Taylor saying, "Shut the fuck up."
Because wasn't that also the year like One Direction got booed? So then Gaga
Yes,
backstage like
because
came
that
up
was
to
the
them and
applause
was
year,
like
that was the
people
roar
yeah, that was the
year.
applause year.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember watching that all live because I was like obviously living for applause like so much. Because I mean I listened to Art Pop and Bangers like a ton back to back to back, but
Yeah.
like obviously liked Art Pop more. But yeah, so
We
it was
got
like
the
that VMAs
fall
was just like
of
so
2013. We got Art Pop, we got
Oh,
Bangers, we got Pure Heroin,
Prism,
Prism, and then self-titled Beyonce in December.
girl.
We didn't know how good we had it.
take us back.
At 13, I thought this was every fall. I thought that's how fucking fall worked.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
Like,
so
so that
crazy.
was like I think
oh,
what really kickstarted like everything like being crazy for this era. Like because I feel like when We Can't Stop came out, she wasn't doing a lot of like appearances and like performances and things like that. It was just kind of happening. But like her performing on the VMAs was like the complete 180 shift in like the media's perception of her. Um, and I love, so she did a huge arena tour for Bangers. Um, and she describes it as campy, surreal, and raunchy, which like I think is like 100% accurate.
I would agree.
Um, yeah. Well, no, she didn't describe it as that. Wikipedia described it as
Oh.
that, but they put it in quotations. Um, so I don't know if she's self-aware or not, but um, yeah, I mean the tour references like a ton of moments of her like in media. Like she comes out on a slide that is her tongue because I know she got a lot of media speculation for how often she used her tongue in performances and things like that. And like it was just every kind of pop culture reference that people would make of Miley, she references in the tour, which I thought was really smart. Um, I didn't go to this one. I wasn't quite old enough to go. My mom was like not comfortable with me going, but it was on my birthday and I was devastated that I couldn't go. But she actually had an allergic reaction in Kansas City and had to cancel like 2 weeks of shows um on the tour. So it actually didn't end up being in Kansas City on my birthday. But yeah. So the tour was like a huge deal. And yeah, it did really well. And kind of I thought this was a cool kind of tie-in to erotica and Madonna. Um we obviously recently, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but we saw her documentary for the Blend Ambition tour, Truth or Dare, Madonna. And they famously had a performance in Toronto where they were going to arrest her for, doing things on stage that
Hmm.
during the Like a Virgin performance. And the Dominican Republic actually, so not Canada, they canceled one of Miley's performances in the Dominican Republic because of they would not allow it to be legal, the things that she was going to do. So I thought that was an
Wow.
interesting tie-in.
That is
Um,
cool.
it's so like it's so Madonna in like a different kind of way because I feel like the obviously like social media wasn't a thing when like erotica was happening, which I think is even crazier, like to be a famous person and like have that sort of thing with like people trying to literally arrest you. But
Hmm.
yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. I was reading that and yeah. So it actually it didn't do well critically. I would say it got at 61 on Metacritic, but it was before this kind of poptimism thing that we talk about a lot on the podcast. Um, I feel like pop music wasn't taken very seriously. Um, and I think if this album would were released now, I think it would be probably regarded as one of her most successful albums, critically, especially like compared to, I feel like the critics have gotten behind a lot of her most recent releases. Like her last album, Endless Summer Vacation, did really well critically. It got a ton of Grammy nominations. Um, and I feel like this album is regarded by, people as just as good, if not better than that. I don't really know a lot of people who would say Endless Summer is better than Bangers, and I really like that album. So kind of interesting. But she got her first Grammy nom for Bangers. It was nominated for Pop Vocal Album. Definitely should have been nominated for more, but there you go. And it debuted at number one. It had the best-selling debut week by a female artist at the time, and then it was surpassed by a queen named Katy Perry. Don't know her. And then it was surpassed by Beyonce. So at the time, it was doing real good. So yeah, that's kind of everything that I had for the album. So
That's perfect. I
yeah.
think
Okay.
you hit every.
Not
The only other thing I would say is we just have to talk about the hair because the hair to me is also
Right, the
such a
pixie
big part
cut.
of it. The
Right.
pixie cut is like I remember the shock in my body when she had that hair for the first time.
Yeah, and I think that like the We Can't Stop music video, I think that was like the big reveal of the pixie cut.
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
It's
yeah.
just like that's such like an iconic part to me of this era
Oh,
that like
totally.
and it's so interesting too because like obviously this era is very like sex positive and about embracing one's sexuality, but I think it's cool that like she's in this haircut that like is not historically seen as like matching like the feminine ideal or like the male gaze or whatever. It's just like she looks
Yeah,
very androgynous in a lot of like
yeah,
this imagery. I mean, because she has like a slender frame. eh, She kind of looks a little boyish with the pixie cut, but then she's like this like very sexually liberated woman. I think it's very, very cool that she combined those things.
totally.
Like there's nothing to me about the image that is like male gazy or like catering to like any kind of perception or idea about like what um a sexual woman should look like.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's great.
Okay, bangers.
Okay. Um, Levi, you can go first.
Ooh, fun. Uh, Yeah, I'm so excited that Drew picked this one. Uh, I love 2013. I'm getting like just so much nostalgia for that time thinking about this. That was a very like important year for me, I think, in my journey as a music listener. I mean, like, first of all, going through the art pop album campaign in real time just does something to a person. Like, it just changes you chemically. And like experiencing this in real time was crazy. Experiencing the Beyonce surprise drop in real time was crazy. Like, Lord, listen, when I listened to Pure Heroin for the first time, like I think that's the first time I felt like I was a teenager. When I was 13, listening to it, I was about to turn 14 because it came out right before my 14th birthday. And I listened to it on Spotify free version on my computer room. And I was like, whoa, like I'm not like a little kid. I'm a teenager now. That also, I do need to point out another hit for me from that era, fall 2013. What Does the Fox Say? Went multi-platinum on Levi's iPod Touch.
Really?
Multi-platinum. Probably diamond, honestly. Yeah.
Whoa, you were getting down with that?
Oh, it loved What the Fox Say. Cow goes
Oh,
moo, cat goes meow, all that
like
shit.
all of that.
All of it. Um, I mean, it's
That
one of
is
the
every
great philosophical questions of our time. What does the fox say?
like, does anyone
Uh,
know?
it's a medical mystery.
No.
So
Wow.
yeah, I love that Drew brought this time back into our lives. I think it's a very it's just very fun to talk about because there's just so much happening culturally. Miley's somebody I've always loved. I've always had such a soft spot for her. I think like most people, she's one of those kind of cultural icons that I grew up with. I mean, we all grew up with Hannah Montana. Like that. Hannah Montana to me, it wasn't my favorite of like the shows from that era. To me, it is the one though. Like it's like the like most iconic,
Yeah.
like biggest one. I think I always preferred Wizards of Waverly Place. Um, and like I
Me
love
too.
Drake and I was such a Drake and Josh shooter. I'm such a Drake and Josh warrior. Drake and
Yeah.
Josh, I remember it's the hardest I'd ever laughed at the time. And I remember this because I was by my you know that episode when they're on the helicopter? Does anybody remember this episode of Drake and Josh when they're on the helicopter and they accidentally knock out the helicopter pilot and then they like push him out of the helicopter?
Oh my
No.
gosh. I don't remember that
I
off the top of my head, but
oh my God. We have to have a watch party.
my
Um,
favorite episode of Drake and Josh is the one where they fight over the foam finger. And it's like
oh,
the
that
story
one's
of how
so
they met.
good.
Because I
Or the
thought the
Oprah.
narrative storytelling of that one was very interesting. Because it keeps bouncing from like the past to the present, like in a very interesting way. I don't know. That was my favorite episode, like always.
Drake and Josh is just so good. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you
It's
dip the
so
Drake into
good.
Josh and it's just good.
And it's
Like,
just good.
it's just
It's
so
just
good.
good.
But like Hannah Montana is the icon from that time though. Like I think any
Yeah.
people our age, like that is who that is. And like Miley was somebody who I felt like I've known my entire life. I mean, I remember being 7 years old, listening to Meet Miley Cyrus on like my like portable CD player. You know, Seven
Yes.
Things, Smash City, See You Again, Smash City, The Climb. The amount of times I would walk around the playground singing that song when I was getting bullied in the third grade, be like, "It's not about how fast you get there, Levi. It isn't. It's the climb." Uh, yeah, I mean, she's just so iconic, and so I think she's somebody that I'm always rooting for her, and I always have like a soft spot for her in that way. Um, and this kind of like Drew said, this was the first time that our generation, people our age, got to experience in real time this good girl gone bad thing, this iconic child star transitioning into adulthood in such a pronounced way. Um, and it doesn't really, again, like we were talking about, I don't think that's really happened at this scale since then, and I kind of don't know if it ever is going to. Like it's just such like it was such a huge cultural moment. Like I don't if I don't really think you can overestimate how like big this was. Everybody was talking about this. Like my like math teacher talked about the VMA performance the next day in the eighth grade. Like I mean, it's just such a huge thing. But I think kind of as a result of eras like this, I mean, we talked about this in the erotica episode at length. Whenever you have an era and an album that is so defined by external controversy and promotion and performances and public reaction and all of that, it's really easy to lose track of the actual music. And I've always found that like I think Bangers, I would honestly call Bangers underrated by the general public, even though like it was her most successful album just objectively for years until Endless Summer Vacation came out. And then I think you could maybe argue the case that it's that. But like I mean, it was such a huge hit era, and like it really put her on top of the pop sphere for a sec. Um, I think a lot of people only know the singles, and I've always thought the album was great. From the second I listened to it, uh, I think it is a genuinely great album. I think there's so much to like about it here. So getting into my notes, I think the first thing I want to point out is to me, and it's always felt this way, kind of inspired by the like Miami Vice kind of imagery on the cover. To me, this album is like humidity. That's always how I've described it. It feels like very warm and like heavy and hot and like wet. It's like the really heavy bass and these very like drowsy, drippy synths and these like big hip hop booming drums. It just like gives me this sense of warmth and heaviness. And like I'm in the height of summer and like I'm seeing sunsets and like we're in like Florida and like on like the ocean and there's pools and there's neon signs and like all of that stuff. Like it gives me this like very specific image of this very specific kind of like party summer vibe. And I just think the album's really, really great at kind of evoking this sense of place and this like kind of tangible quality. Uh, Kind of going on what Drew mentioned about, I remember her saying at the time this like Southern hip hop thing. I don't really think that's like the full thing, but I definitely think that like is influenced. I mean, like 4x4 is definitely like the biggest song where like that's the case. Um, but I adore her vocal performance on here. To me, like her vocals are the star of the show. She sounds so good. And I think looking at her career, to me this is like the first full-length project. I think she had moments before this, but as a full project, to me it's Bangers, where she really displays the depth and breadth of her vocal abilities. I think that these songs really suit this like husky, gritty quality that her voice can take on. And I was thinking about how to describe her vocals on here, and like the word I kept coming back to was gutsy. Like she puts just so much, like she's not straining, but like she's just like pushing the sound out of her so aggressively, like you can hear it come out. And she does all these amazing growls, and she does crazy riffs, and she does like crazy octave jumps, and she really explores the full range of her voice. And I think that she also is an incredibly emotive singer. She sells the ballads. She sells the really fun songs. Like I think she's able to nail the vocal on a song like "Do My Thing," and then nail "My Darlin'," and then nail "Adore You," and nail "Someone Else," and nail "Wrecking Ball." Like those are all such different kinds of songs that require different vocal qualities, and she's able to do all of it, which I think is so cool. And kind of going off of that, to me, this like album really represents so many of Miley's sides as kind of a public figure, because it's this crazy, brash, funny party Miley. Um, but then also, to me, Miley's also kind of a ballad queen. Like she's always been a ballad queen from The Climb and like One in a Million. And that's also on here as well. I mean, the biggest hit from this album was a ballad, Wrecking Ball, a big power ballad. And there's so many great ballads on here. So I think it's really representative of a lot of things. I also just love the sound of the album, the genre. I think that the hip hop, R&B, funky, electro influences just really suit her. Miley's a bit of a chameleon, and she's gotten a lot of flack for this thing that I don't think she does it as much anymore, but in like the 2010s, she did do this thing that whenever she released an album, she would shit talk the album before and say, that wasn't the real me. This is the real me. That I hate that. I hate that. And then she would do it every
She
single
said that
time
for
she released
this as
something.
well.
Oh, did she do it? Right.
She, in the press before, she said she wished that she could erase all three albums before this, and that people, if they wanted to listen to her music, could just start with this.
See, she says that, and then I remember the Billboard article for Younger Now when she says that she hates Bangerz and like wishes that people didn't listen to it and it's not the real her. And then she did the same thing for Plastic. It's like it's annoying because I think it's kind of like rude to her fans who like love her music and like it's kind of like dismissing and invalidating their connection to that music. It's always kind of drives me crazy. Um, but this idea of her as a chameleon, somebody who just like really shapeshifts era to era to era, I think at times, I think that can suggest a lack of identity as an artist for her. But at this stage in her career, uh, to me, she's kind of evolved, and like I see her as like a entertainer, like not just like a musician. Like to me, she's an entertainer. Um, and I think that this ability to make any kind of music work has become core to her identity. Like that's what we look to her as. That's what we expect from Miley. She can do the country, she can do the hip hop, she can do the rock, she can do the pop, she can do it all. Um, my personal favorite sound from her, I think I probably alluded to this before in the podcast, is Plastic Hearts and this like take on 80s, 70s glam rock. I just think it suits her perfectly. But this banger sound is probably my runner up. Getting into a few like notes I have about the album, I don't think it's super consistent. I think it's like there are there are so many supermodels on the record. There are so many Naomi Campbells walking around. There's one song I hate, like I really can't stand, and I don't listen to. I skip it every time, and I actually deleted it off my iPod when I was a teenager. I couldn't do it. And then there's other songs that like are kind of just there for me that like are good, fine, but like don't really do it in that way. Um, it's not like an album where like everything's like pretty good or like everything's great. Like it kind of is a little bit of a valley situation for me. And then I'm interested to hear what you guys think about this because Drew kind of talked about like, a lot of this album being about like breakup and the Liam Hemsworth and all that stuff. Like for me, I think the album kind of lacks a central theme and narrative. Like obviously there's so many songs about heartbreak and like this dissolution of a relationship. And there's quite a few songs about partying. There's like Adore You, which is a straight up love song, Get It Right, which is um a sex song. I don't really know what you'd call 4x4, like kind of it's just fun. Like it's a little, it's just, I don't, it's a ditty, maybe, if you will. I don't know if I'd call it like a love song, but I don't really think like these songs are super tied together thematically in the way that like some albums are. For me, and maybe it's a tracklist thing. Like maybe it's just like the order of the songs don't really give me like a story and a narrative because I think it's kind of a little bit random. Um, but it's the production and her personality and her vocals and kind of just this like sense of originality and like uniqueness and really going for swings that ties it together. So I think it is cohesive in that sense. It's just like lacking a theme for me as an album. For the overall era, I would say that like the theme for me is like independence and like liberation and like being yourself and like kind of stepping into adulthood, which obviously I love. I just don't think we hear like a lot of like that, which is to me the message of Bangers as an era in the actual music itself. But yeah, I mean, I love this album. I think it is just like a really fun, original, personality filled pop record. And I think it just kind of plays to so many of her strengths as an artist. Dead Pets, her follow up album to this, is cuckoo as hell and not as good as this. And even though I do like it quite a bit, Younger Now is not my fave. So for a while, Bangers was kind of to me seen as like the best she would do, and then I think she's kind of had a bit of like a renaissance in the last few years, this decade. But yeah, I love this album. I think it's great. I'm excited to talk about Holy Trinities and Me's. But that's what I got.
Nice.
Slay. Okay, Maria.
Alrighty, cool. Well, I just wanted to say we were talking about the tour for a sec. Do you guys remember like any of the merch from the tour?
No,
Yes, it's so good.
It's crazy.
I
But
don't
I
remember at all.
remember specifically because again, this was 2013, 2014, which was majorly the era of like horrifically gaudy, like printed leggings with like crazy patterns and like whatever. So I just remember people all the time, like after they would go to the tour, getting the printed leggings that had her face all over them. And I think there's like, and I just looked it up just now. I think there's like an ice cream cone in her mouth or something like that. But like, I just remember seeing these leggings all the time and it being crazy. But there are some things from this like merch collection that are like actually pretty cool.
She also she made her own Bangerz EOS to sell at
Oh,
the tour.
really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's so
Yeah.
tea.
That's what I wanted it so bad. I was so pissed that I didn't get to go to get the fucking chapstick, but because I love those
So
little
crazy.
egg things.
Yes, yes. So yeah, I just
Yeah.
had to point that out because like I just remember that being like such a huge like visual cue in my head at least was like the printed leggings. So there's that. But yeah, I mean my thoughts about the album, like I said earlier, like in 2013, again, like was still like very deep in like the One Direction standum. So like that was like number one in my brain as far as like this era of music went, but obviously was super into art pop, was listening to so much of that. And then Bangers was, I would say, like third on the ladder for me of like what I was prioritizing as far as music. But pretty consistently, I would just like do art pop and bangers back to back to back to back, and would just like constantly rotate them. Because in my head, I think they were kind of like sonically similar, you know, with that kind of like EDM kind of pop vibe. So I did that a whole bunch. But yeah, it was interesting listening back to this. Yeah, I don't think I had listened to this all the way through since the time and place itself, you know, in 2013, 2014. So it was just interesting. I mean, I remembered how most of it sounded, but I obviously understand I'm biased towards Gaga, but I can't help but compare it to art pop because these albums in the moment for me were like so intertwined. But I do think that this album ages a little bit less gracefully than art pop has. And maybe that's just with me and like my own brain and my heart. But I feel like some of the sounds on this album don't really transcend and sound a little bit dated. But with that being said, I think all of these songs are still pretty fun. And like Levi said before, her vocals across this are incredible and I think are the highlight for sure. And I do for sure echo Levi's sentiment of the identity of the album kind of bouncing around a lot. I mean, for me personally, like it feels hard to follow because like we get a song that's like very, very country and then one that's like kind of like heavier tonally and like has this kind of like some of those kind of like mucky EDM kind of vibes and it bounces back and forth a ton, which makes it kind of hard to follow. And then I would agree that the narrative isn't really consistent. Which almost makes me think like maybe would I even prefer this album to be sectioned off into like genre acts? Like, would I rather have all of like the party EDM songs in one chunk and then the country songs and then the ballads? You know, like it almost makes me think of like, what if it was like, you know, a play in three acts and then like everything that sounds distinctly similar is all next to each other. And then maybe there's like transition tracks. I don't know. Maybe that could be interesting. But it does feel hard to follow. Like it feels like you shuffled it. It doesn't feel like the track order is like necessarily intentional. You know, maybe that's a little bit harsh, but that's kind of how I felt. Something that's interesting to me about this, which I was kind of getting into like somewhat of that like alternative, like alt rock kind of music around this time too, like a little bit more into 2014, 2015. I was listening to the band Alt J quite a bit. Not sure if that rings any bells for you guys. But their song, well, they released an album in 2014 called "This Is All Yours." Had some pretty popular songs on it. But there's a song on this album that's called "Hunger of the Pine" that sampled the lyric "I'm a female rebel" from 4x4, and it's super cool. And I just remember like being 2014 and kind of having like somewhat, or my God, being 14 and having kind of like a shift in the music I was listening to. And then that album came out and I listened to it. I'm like, wait, we're already sampling bangers? This is kind of crazy. So, That song's really great though. I would definitely recommend listening to it. So that was like super interesting. Something for me too. I definitely see what you're getting at, Levi, with like the album cover kind of being like representative of the music. I personally, in my brain, like kind of have a hard time like matching up the album with the sounds on the album. Like I almost kind of wish it was like almost like that party kind of vibe of the We Can't Stop video. Like even if the album cover was like predominantly her, but then like in the background is like clearly some sort of house party. Like something like that. I don't know. This album, first for me personally, the album cover doesn't really tell me a whole lot about what to expect from the music. Like it feels like I guess anyone could have been on the cover and it could have been a completely different style of music. I don't know. But the album cover too is also very 2013 of like her being cut out of it and like a neon sign. Like it does emulate for sure like the era. But yeah, I mean, just like the whole era and the experience of this in general, I think is really interesting to reflect on. What comes to mind specifically is around this time, Gaga was on Watch What Happens Live, and I guess the VMAs might have like had just happened, and Andy Cohen was asking her about it, and she responded very very well, I think, of her kind of being like everyone's being really critical of her, like she's just a young girl like growing up in front of the world. Like I think everyone needs to like back off and leave her alone and let her do what she wants to do and express herself. Like she's grown up, she can do what she wants, whatever this and that. And I found that really interesting. And yeah, it was also interesting to like be 13 at this time and not necessarily have the need to form an opinion of like that Miley Cyrus needs to like really, reel it in or whatever. Like we weren't old enough to have opinions about like, she's doing too much. She's being crazy. But it was interesting, I think, for us to be at that age because we could watch the world react to her, kind of having this like extremely like liberated era. So looking back on that, I thought was just like kind of interesting. But there's songs on this for sure, which I think are incredible. Vocal highlights, but like kind of discography highlights. But there's some on here that just like for me don't really pass the like longevity test and sound really dated, or like some songs that are kind of just like what exactly is going on here? Like what exactly are we saying here? But the good songs are really, really good. But then I think the so some of the ones that feel kind of dated just like really don't work for me anymore. Um, but yeah, I think that's my that's my vibe on the album.
Cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, going into my thoughts. So I obviously love this album. Um, yeah, it was kind of a huge moment. I feel like this might have been like the first time I really like digested like music as albums, maybe like because kind of what Levi was saying, I feel like a lot of people at the time were really only getting into the singles of the album, but I was very much like a full bangers, full body of work truther. Um, yeah, I love this. Something that I think I love so much about it is it does kind of what you guys were saying about how it doesn't really feel like it has like a clear narrative. I totally get that from this. Like I love how I think Adore You is such an interesting like opener. Like it's one of the craziest album openers when what that you would expect from something like this. I get the narrative in all of like the ballad songs. I think it goes, and I understand because it shifts from like these super slow ballad songs to like we're gonna party and riot and have fun. But I think I don't know, it's kind of if you look at just the ballads in order, I feel like it does kind of tell a cohesive story. And then I feel like when you put the like party songs in between them, it kind of it can kind of make a timeline in like telling a story of like her anger in the relationship. Like, because when you look at just the ballads, it goes from Adore You, My Darling, both kind of like a little happier in tone into Wrecking Ball, which kind of feels like the shift in her feelings towards what she's going through. Um, and then from Wrecking Ball on, there definitely seems to be like a little bit of like spiciness and anger to the end. So I don't know. I fully get the story of it. And I know that it's hard to follow with like the because it's so differing in sounds and genres. But no, I totally get the story. Especially like I think the end is really enhances it for me, like going from like FU, well, starting going from Drive to FU into like her kind of finding her own independence and like do my thing. And to it kind of sucks that like she got back with him and like has this full-on relationship after this album's over because like maybe you're right and someone else feel like such I mean, when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, she's finally like getting the fuck out of this. Like she's moving on. So yeah, so I fully get the story. Um, Especially listening to it all at once. Uh, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. I never thought about like it being like messy in that way, but I totally understand like where you guys are coming from. Um, but yeah, so I love this. And everything that I love about it, you all have already mentioned. I think her vocals are so amazing. Especially like in Wrecking Ball, like Maybe You're Right is such a vocal career highlight for me from her. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's doing a lot of different things, and I think that is what I think can detract people from getting into it a little more. Like you were talking about, like the cover of the album. I don't really think the cover is something that gives me the sound of the album either. However, I associate so much the word bangers with the little neon sign. Um, but I don't know if I would have wanted the album cover to just be like the word bangers on a neon sign. Like I'm not the biggest fan of album covers with just words on it. But obviously different time. But yeah, it was kind of a moment for me too in listening to music where um especially growing up in like Kansas City, like people were not vibing with what she was doing performatively, especially like people in middle school. Like I wouldn't say that like anyone was vibing to it as much as I was. But it was really cool to like feel like you were really getting into something that you felt like you understood and you got what she was trying to sell, but like no one else did. I feel like that was the first time in music that I really experienced that. Um, so yeah, and I like I wasn't the biggest like Miley Cyrus fan. Like I went to the concert and I was really into like the Hannah Montana era of it all, but I didn't stick with her through like the whole Can't Be Tamed era of it all. And I don't know how many people did and like can say that they experienced that like as a Miley Cyrus fan. But I was definitely there with her through all of this. Like I was really a huge fan of what she was doing. Um as I think we all were. Like we all were really yeah, we were the woke bangers listeners in 2013. Just have to say that.
We were the oracles. We saw the vision before anybody else
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
there.
I mean,
But yeah,
Pop Girlies set culture. They create it. They don't follow it.
right. Right. And I also think it's like there could have been so many more singles from this. Like
Yeah.
there were only Adore You, We Can't Stop, Wrecking Ball.
She
I
could have
mean,
milked it so much more.
she could have milked it so hard, but
What would you have
like
picked
I
as another
honestly think
single?
Maybe You're Right would have been a great single.
I always
If
loved
she were
that song.
going for all the emotional songs as singles, I
Yeah.
guess, but also explicit songs as singles weren't really popular at the time, so like she couldn't have done like Do My Thing, which I think could have been a huge single if it were released
Okay,
now,
I'm gonna
but
say it. I think if released now, Love Money Party's a TikTok hit.
yeah,
Oh my God.
totally.
Yeah.
Because the concept of love ain't nothing but love, when you learn how to love it ain't nothing but love. Part money ain't
Party
nothing but money. Wait, what's the order? It's love
Money ain't
ain't nothing
nothing
No,
but
but
you
love.
got it.
money.
Love
Sorry.
ain't nothing but love when you learn how to love, and ain't nothing but love. Party ain't nothing
Money
but a
ain't
party
nothing
when you.
but.
Oh, is it money next? Yeah, I
Yeah.
love
I
money
think
party.
yeah.
Money ain't nothing but money when you what
Get to
money?
the
Get to
money,
the
it ain't
money. It
nothing
ain't
but
nothing but
Nothing
money.
but
money.
money. Party ain't nothing
Party
but
ain't
party
nothing
when you
but
party
party,
every
but
day. It ain't
when you
party but a
party every day, it ain't
party.
nothing but a party. Love money
Like that's
party.
so good. I'm sorry. That's like musical excellence. Like
But like, I love
Bob
how it goes
Dylan,
from
where are
that.
you?
Like that exists on an album that also has drive on it. Like what? Like she is. She will never. She will never get to this level for me. I don't think.
Yeah,
Like
that
I.
like eclectic quality is very charming. I understand what you're saying.
But it has such a through line for me. Like it in sound. Like I. Like they do somehow exist on the same thing for me. Like. But I don't think she will ever. I don't think it's trying to be something that is like. Like I don't know what to describe it as. Like, I don't think she's, I think she's trying to be messy with it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Like
Like,
there's a silliness here, which is so endearing, which I kind of wish she followed through. Like she kind of kept that silliness throughout like the rest of her career. But
yeah,
like there's just lyrics here that are so like silly and fun that it's like interesting in this like I don't know. Like I feel like if other people tried to like put lyrics of that level of like silly and goofiness and campiness, even in 2013, then like it wouldn't have worked.
it
But
wouldn't have
I
worked.
think
Yeah.
with this whole like aura that she had given herself at the time, especially with the haircut and like literally everything she was doing being controversial, it just like felt very, very correct. I think that like there was like just an inherent campiness to like all of the music. Even the
Yeah.
ballads, I think. Like just the fact that
Yeah.
that album has ballads makes them campy. You
Yeah.
And like F
know?
you is looking camp right in the eye.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Yeah.
concept of there only being two letters for you,
There's two letters for you.
and one of them is what?
F
F
And what's the other one?
you.
you.
Because what you got to do is what?
Go get yourself a clue.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
It's just, I don't know. It's like, it's such a work of art to me. Like, I don't even like, I don't know how to put it into words, really, to
Mona
be really
Lisa,
honest.
girl with the pearl earring, bangers.
And like, and normally if I wasn't like crazy about an album cover, it would be an issue for me. But like, and I'm not crazy about the album cover of Bangerz, but for some reason, like the neon sign just works for me. And like, I
Yeah.
love how Levi was talking about, because obviously it's inspired by like the Miami Vice of it all, but like Levi talks about how like it makes him feel like sort of like going to a humidity filled
Oh
place.
yeah,
It
I'm in like a
doesn't
house party in Miami for me.
it doesn't do that for me, but like I like don't care. Like I live for like the I don't care. Like I don't
Yeah,
think it's
it's
trying
funny.
to
I
be
love the
polished
cover.
or
I
yeah.
love the cover. I think I'm the only one that I think I'm probably the one that likes the cover the most. And for me, the
Yeah.
cover represents the album perfectly because I think of this as like big booming bass out of like speakers at a party, and like there's ocean and there's like lights all over the pool and there's neon signs. I agree with you, Drew. The neon sign makes it for me. The neon
Yeah.
sign is amazing, but I love like kind of like going to what Maria was saying, like the tacky quality of like the plastic trees and the neon
Yes.
sign and like the colors and then like her kind of like ridiculous suit. Like there's like a tacky, campy quality to it that I think is also reflective of the music and the other imagery in the
Yeah.
album.
And the
Something I
colors in the background are very I think like because they're in the background of like the images, there's like a little ombre kind of
Yes, yes.
thing. I think that's reflective of it too. Sorry, Marie.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I just realized that all of her album covers exist in liminal spaces. Like she's not in
Oh.
a real space in any of her album covers,
And I know how you
except
feel about a liminal space.
except for I guess technically she is coming. I thought this was an EP, but Spotify
It's
is
an EP.
I mean Spotify is quantifying it as an album, so whatever. But yeah, all of them are in liminal spaces. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. Like there isn't a single cover that's like, oh, here's clearly like something in the background that's like grounding it to a real space. I don't just a
Maria is
discovery.
liminal space investigator.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, even her new one, it's just her like behind or in front of a random background.
Do you
Okay,
prefer a liminal space?
No,
Okay, I
you
was
like
gonna say
a
it.
liminal
Miss
space can hit
Gaga.
for you, but you prefer your like ideal is like grounded.
I think so. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not like too like one or the other. Like, I guess it just depends, but I'm just like pointing out an observation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I love a liminal space. I'm gonna say it, I really
I
do.
mean, I'm not
I,
against it. I mean, like,
Madonna Ray of Light is a liminal space,
yeah, it
and that's
is.
one of my favorite covers ever. But then Folklore is not a liminal space. She's in a forest.
Correct. Correct.
Wait, so liminal space is a space with limits.
No.
What's the definition of liminal space? Because I thought liminal space.
Like,
It's a
it's not like a
transitional area where
tactile, like real
physical,
space.
yeah, it's like not like a real thing. It's like a in between kind of ambivalence, uncertainty.
Okay,
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like empty kind of like not real.
got
Um,
it. Okay,
Yeah.
so you don't have preference to what you like or what you don't like. You just observe that Miley just does liminal spaces for the.
Yeah. I was just observing that they're
Oh, okay,
liminal
okay. I
spaces.
I didn't know
Yeah.
because I
Well,
know
no.
like all of Gaga's album covers are liminal spaces, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Except for
no, Chromatica's not.
Chromatica.
Oh,
Well,
right.
Chromatica
Okay.
is like in, I guess, what you could consider somewhere. Like it is somewhere that you can
She's on a
see.
ship. She's on some
Yeah,
kind
she's
of
on a grate or something. She's in
she's
some
on a
sort of
great.
warehouse.
Right.
It just really
I
depends
also
on the
would
isolation.
argue that art pop, she's in a painting
Yeah, yeah.
Girl, I don't know about that.
because it's
Well, I
also
mean,
not
like
her because it's art. It's Coons. Like
it's Coons.
like pop culture wasn't art, but now art's and pop culture and me. Like
One
if you get it,
second,
you
I'm the
get it.
Coons fan. Suddenly, the Coons is
The
me.
Coons is me.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like Botticelli. Like it literally is.
And you know it's Botticelli.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
get the
it
You
is.
Botticelli
know.
and the Coons, and it's just good.
And then it's just good. And you mix in the Gaga with the wig, and it's just good.
It's just good.
Uh,
But no, yeah. I am like a rare fan of like a like album that is messy. I don't really fuck with that, but like this is like probably the only one that I like that's
Well, it's a
messy.
character trait, not like a flaw. Like it's like part of
Yeah.
it's a personality trait. I feel
Yeah.
the same way about art pop. It's like art pop is crazy and kooky, but that's because it's the girl that she is, not the girl that she isn't.
Yeah.
and you should say it again.
I don't know what the hell that was. And I kind of thought I ate that
I love
too.
how the second half of the Bangers review is just talking about art pop.
Oh.
Okay, back to
Okay.
Miley.
Well, I want to say one thing because I did text in the group chat. I do think FU could be on Bangers. FU to me is it not
Well, it is on
Bangers.
Bangers.
It is on
It's on Bangers.
Bangers.
Wait, oh my God. That Miley Cyrus song
FU
is on Bangers.
could be on art pop. FU is an art pop song, and I'm sorry. I like everything about it is art pop to me. It could like fit right in like by like fashion.
It's
Like
kind
it
of
could be
Well,
swine.
yeah, it's swinish, it's fashiony, it has the campy Mary Jane. Like to me, it exists between like fashion and Mary Jane Holland.
Uh-huh.
well, and and like dope and jewels and drugs feel like they could be on Bangers.
Jewels and drugs so could be on Bangers.
Yeah.
This family is stupid
Stupid
attractive.
attractive.
But imagine
Like,
Miley
yeah.
singing it.
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay,
Ooh.
Ooh.
we've derailed enough. Three
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
to you.
No, I think I'm good.
Oh,
I think that's all I wanted to share.
well, should we get into this me gig?
Yeah. Yeah, let's get into the me gig.
Okay. You tell us what to do.
Uh,
Oh, I guess me first, right?
yeah.
And just the me first. We do our me first, and then Holy
Yeah,
Trinity
let's
after.
do the me first. Yeah.
Okay, so me or least favorite for the newbies. Oh, to the Pop Girlies Nation. Um, my me's so easy. I hate the song, and I wish I liked it more, but I hate how the song sounds. I hate everything about it. I think it's stupid. It doesn't add anything to me. I skip it every single time it came on. I listened to it twice this week because I was being kind and charitable. I fucking hate SMS Bangers, the title. I hate it. I think it's so stupid. Bangers is dumb. I hate the Britney collab because I think it's so cool that like she's has a Britney collab on here and is kind of honoring like this legacy of like teen pop star transitioning to adulthood and Britney's such an icon and blah blah blah. Wasted on this song. It's so frivolous. It means nothing. There's nothing of substance happening. I was strutting my stuff. Shut up. Get a job. It's horrible. Miley, I love you, love you, love you, love you. I'm gonna praise you in a sec when we get to the Holy Trinities. This could have stayed in the editing room. This could have been it locked in a vault far, far away from human ears, in my opinion. So sorry to all those who love it. I hope you can forgive
Yeah.
me. Um, it's not for me.
Cool. Okay, Maria,
It's
let's hear
it's so
me.
in Drew's top three.
No, it's not, but I wouldn't say that it needs to be locked away in a vault.
Well, they've been saying it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, my least favorite song is also going to be SMS.
Dated! Woo!
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. Maybe I don't feel as strongly, but it does kind of feel like maybe this was the last song that they made and they were like, well, here's all these other scrapped ideas. Maybe we could put them all into one song.
And they're like,
Like,
maybe we need should have a title track because I know they came up with the title early on in the process. It's like, yeah, Miley, what if we do like title track? Like, what if you say bangers in one of the songs?
yeah. I mean, I I think it maybe should have just been called Bangers then. Like it should have just been a title track. I hate that it's called SMS Bangers. Like I think that's pretty stupid. But yeah, I mean, it's like a novelty listen, but I think otherwise like you could do without it for sure. It's not really that good.
Oh,
So,
cool. Okay, well, my
Woo!
me is not that. My me is Hands in the Air. That's the only song where I like, and it's a deluxe track, but it's the only song that I like am not crazy about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So now
Holy
should we be
Trinity.
let me be positive now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be positive.
Um, so I was having a really hard time. I feel like I've this kind of been my theme the last few weeks. I've been having a really hard time with my number three. And I'm going to walk you through my dilemma because there's two songs that are really battling it out. And on one hand, one song is like one of the most well-known songs from the album. And so I feel like it gets a lot of recognition. And the other song is like very underrated and like I don't really think talked about as much. So I'd like to kind of like highlight, a song that like maybe doesn't get the flowers she deserves. But on the other hand, if I go with the underrated song, I feel like I'm only highlighting like one part of the album. I'm not really like acknowledging like the more like extroverted party silly side of the album. So I'm really conflicted. I'm gonna go with my heart, I think, and I'm gonna go with the one that I just think is better. So my number three is My Darlin'. Um, I've always adored that song. I love a mid-tempo. Let me just say that. I love a mid-tempo. I love a melancholy mid-tempo that's bittersweet and reflective. I think her and Future work so well together. I like this kind of like yeah, it's just a bittersweet song, and there's like sadness in there, but there's also like true love. I love the melodies. I love the imagery. I love the way that she sings Boulevard is so good. And then she goes, "The shadow of a broken-hearted girl." It's so good. Um, I love the production. I love how moody it is. Yeah, I just think it's a great song. My number two, Wrecking Ball. It's just I mean it's Wrecking Ball. Like it's just a smash hit. I don't know what else to say about it. It's like to me, it's like the second that the piano, like those chords come in, it's like, okay, like posture erect, like eyes open, we're alert. It just takes over you. It's so attention grabbing. And it's just undeniable melody, undeniable vocal performance, undeniable lyrics, undeniable perfect pop song. It's a perfect pop song. And then my number one, I think it's just one of the coolest songs probably I've ever heard. I think this the song structure is so cool and interesting. The sound of it is so like sinister and heavy. Her vocals are insane. It has some amazing lyrics. My number one is Drive. I fucking love Drive. I love like starting with like a slower version of the chorus, and then we get that really like pumped up version of the chorus. I love the way that like the sonic shift, and I love how heavy and dark it sounds and insidious. I just think it's so good. It's cool to me. Like I know Maria was saying that some of these songs haven't aged for her. I was thinking the other day when I listened to this, like I think this song could be released today and it would sound just as cool and forward thinking. I think this highlights kind of the best qualities of this album, which is that she's just really doing her own thing. And like nobody else was making pop songs like this in 2013, and nobody else is making pop songs like this now. Love Drive so much. So that's the top three.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay, I'll get into mine. So my number three is Rooting for My Baby.
Love.
Love. I mean like it's just hard because she has such an interesting voice. And like maybe some of my things with this too is like I have a hard time with like her voice meshing with like some of like the really intense like synth EDM
Mm.
stuff that's going on in this album. I don't really think that, well, I guess this isn't like directly related to the song being my number three, but like I think some of those like heavier songs, like I feel like that's maybe my issue is like I I just have a hard time like blending those two concepts together of her having this like really kind of gravelly, earthy voice that is like also has this like kind of like sharp like edginess to it, which I think sounds really well with like acoustic instruments. So like this is I think a highlight of that, like rooting for my baby specifically. Because she also does a lot of like interesting like vocal stacking with like the hoo hoo in the background, and it sounds so good. So that's kind of what makes this song a highlight for me specifically. So that's my number three. My number two is Do My Thang. The song is so silly and ridiculous. Um, and I think is maybe my favorite vocal performance on the whole thing, maybe. Because I think like the pre-chorus is so cool. And when she does that kind of like really breathy slide down on the notes of like, ha ha, I'm a do my thing,
Yeah.
is so good. Like it just sounds amazing. It's so cool how she does that kind of slide down. I just love that like quality that she has so much. So love that. And then the song is so silly, the lyrics are ridiculous. So I think that song is like a great encapsulation of like the silly party goofiness of bangers in general. And then my number one is Adore You. This and that
Ooh.
song for me, I think is the one that really stands out from the rest and really feels timeless to me. Um, and yeah, I think the structure of it's really great. It's like kind of got an infectious melody to it, and it also kind of sounds a little bit like melancholy. Like there's something kind of bubbling underneath it. Like it's not just like a happy, sappy kind of ballad of like I love you. Like it's
Yeah.
you can tell that there's more going on under the surface. And that's I think what makes it a really interesting ballad. So yeah, that's my Holy Trinity.
Love.
That's funny. Ours are completely different. I wonder if that's going to continue with Drew.
Yeah.
I kind of don't think it is.
Okay, so my three is Maybe You're Right. From when I first listened to the album, I knew I was like into her. That to me is probably my vocal highlight on the album.
Which
I just
part
think she sounds
specifically?
amazing on the chorus. But also in the bridge when she does well, also like the last chorus that she does is insane. My favorite part of the song though is probably like the very first chorus that she does. It's insane.
I
Like
think my
hearing,
no
yeah.
go Go.
Well, like hearing because the first verse is a little like it's like not of it's like she's just kind of singing, and then when it comes in with her voice hitting so hard, I lose my mind.
I'm totally on board with you. This is one of the vocal highlights. And for me, it's the second chorus when she does that crazy riff.
Yeah,
It's like I ascend. It's so good.
yeah, it's insane. Um, my number two is Adore You.
Mm,
Um, I feel like this should be more people's first dance song
it'd
at
be a good
weddings.
one.
Like I don't know why this isn't, but whatever. I think it's insane. I remember like listening to the album for the first time and I was like, I cannot believe she's opening with a song like this on this album. I just think it's insane. It like paints such a picture, the song does. Um, yeah, and I love that it's a single. Like I love that with all of these crazy like hip hop pop hits, she's like, no, I am gonna make this a single actually. Um, so yeah. Um, and then my number one is also Drive. I think
Yay!
it's her best song that
Whoa.
she's
It's
ever
so
made.
good.
Um,
What's your
and it
favorite part of this
feels
song, Drew?
like um um my favorite part of Trent. Um probably like her just doing the chorus, like the in the like
Yeah.
yeah, in the like little mixy. But like this feels like the shift of like in the album where like it's like, oh, she's like about to like fuck some shit up like after this. Like I'd be interested to see like what she was saying like when she was recording this. Like I want to know what she was t telling Mike Will when she was like trying to make this crazy ass song. Um, but yeah, I love Drive.
Something else I love about Drive is that the only like repeated melody is the chorus. Because both the verses have
Yes.
different melodies and then the bridge has a different melody. So like I really feel like the chorus is the only thing that's stabilizing you, and then everything else about it really does feel like a journey. Like you're driving
Yeah.
through like this like song and this landscape. It kind of like it takes you over. I think it's so cool.
Yeah. It also just like it's such an outlier in the album too. I think like there's not another song that like sounds like it,
No.
but
Maybe
it's
the
so
closest is like
needed.
someone else, maybe.
Yeah.
Of like that kind of like heavy, like electro ballady, but this has a different feel to it. It definitely
Yeah,
does.
Drive just feels so like evocative. Like it sounds like
Yeah,
she's like really trying to like say something.
I
Um,
love this song.
oh, it's so good. Um, but yeah, okay.
Okay,
Yay.
So we
cool.
did match up a lot.
We did.
Okay.
You were the glue that tied us together because, well, and Marie and I
Yes.
both are, we both don't like certain Miss Girl that I won't name
Oh,
because
right.
I've
Yeah.
been too hard on her already.
Right. Um, okay, so the utensil time. I was having a really hard time coming up with a score for this. However, I like really was trying hard to like figure out how I would like deduct points from this, like if it was a 10, if it wasn't. And I am gonna be honest, like it's a 10 for me. Like
Oh,
I
wow.
yeah.
Oh my God. That gagged me so hard.
I'm so gagged.
Um
Yeah.
yeah, this is like yeah. Like I because I was trying to think of things that like would detract its score. And like there's not a song that I don't like. The only song that I would skip is a deluxe track. So I like if we're just, if we're just giving the album a score, I'm not gonna deduct it for like one of the deluxe tracks being not something that I would like turn to. But yeah, like this song like really was like a huge shift for me in listening to it for the first time. Like I yeah, like there's nothing that I don't like about it. Like the cover not being matching the album. I was thinking like maybe that I would take points off for. But then I was like, but I don't think it's trying to like I think it's trying to be what it is. and I think the vision of it is exactly what the album is. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna like that doesn't make sense for me to like not give it a 10 because of the cover, which would be the only thing that I would like maybe detract points for. But again, I love the neon sign and yeah, so it's a 10 for me.
Wow.
Whoa.
Get
That's
into
actually
it.
interesting because I don't think I've ever thought about like the cover being included in my score. Like I always think about that as like a different thing. Like, do you guys include covers in your score when you're like normally thinking about it?
I think so. Like, I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
try to kind of include everything about like the general experience of the
Yeah.
album.
I
Mm.
think about like the cover, I think about like the era as a whole, like even like music videos I think of.
Yeah.
That's so funny because I really only think about the music. To me, that's like a separate. That other stuff is separate from because I think you can have an incredible album that has a shit album cover, and I think you can have like a shit album that has an incredible album cover. And like I don't feel like if I think like a piece of a body of work is like so perfect, but like the album cover doesn't work for me, like I'm not going to detract it because everything else is so good. And I am thinking about a
Fair.
very specific album that I'm sure we'll get to in a bit, sometime, um, by the Queen, honey. Let's just say that.
Let's say.
Oh,
I think Drew knows what I'm talking about. Well, that gagged me, Drew.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know, guys. I'm not trying to. Well, the album already has a perfect score collectively. I'm not trying to hold my hand tank the collective score, but I have to be true to myself. I mean, I did listen to it a ton back in the day, and a lot of this is super fun, but like Miley's not my girl like that, and like this album isn't my tea in that kind of way. And I feel like a lot of this just in my ears, like just sounds really, really dated, and I probably wouldn't like seek out again all the time. But it's still a lot of fun, and I do have a lot of nostalgia for it. So I'm gonna give it a 7.6.
7.6.
So
So I'm kind of falling in between you two. I'm not in like the level of Drew of like perfect, perfect, perfect because I do have some like gripes and hesitations with the album. I just still struggle with like how these songs relate to each other on a thematic lyrical level. I don't think it's like for me it's not incredibly clear. It was really interesting hearing Drew explain like his version of the timeline. Like I really liked that. I'm still it's just not gelling in my head. So that's a takeaway for me and I just think that like the album isn't consistent enough to get in the nines for me. And I also think I didn't really mention this before, but like the pacing of the album also kind of bothers me. It kind of is like a stop and start type of quality for me, which again I think maybe was intentional because we've talked a lot about this kind of being intentionally messy. Um, I do disagree with Maria. I do think this has aged pretty well for me. I don't find this as dated, I think, as you do. Um, and I think in the moments that maybe are kind of dated, I think I reflect on them fondly, like they don't make me cringe or anything. And I think that like there is just so many incredible highlights that like are some of my favorite moments in pop music from the 2010s that I'm gonna give it an 8.8 to kind of like close to a 9, but like not quite up there because there's just like it's a little not polished enough for me to get up to that level. But it's excellent, it's so good, and it's I think a classic for a reason. Oh my God.
Slay.
And I'm an oracle because that is the average score. 8.8.
whoa,
Slay.
play.
Interesting. So we got a 10, a 7.6, and an 8.8, averaging out as an 8.8. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
Miley ain't even my girl like that. Like,
She really isn't. So this is why I know that this is real for you.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I it was crazy. Like, I didn't realize that y'all thought that it was kind of Klooky Boots, like in the pacing of it. That
Yeah,
was
because
real
like
shocker for me.
well, because like I love what you said about the breakup stuff, but then I just then like I understand that timeline now, but then like relating it to the other half of the album, like I
Yeah.
don't. For me, that's the connection is like not there. And then like I don't then get it right, just being in the middle of everything, being like,
Yeah.
let's have sex. Like that, I'm not really understanding that vibe. And 4x4, I'm also like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, sure, we can be a female
Yeah.
rebel, but like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
I do like. I'm next time I listen to it, I'm gonna think about the timeline that you talk about though, because I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, because like the first, like the SMS 4x4 and We Can't Stop feel like they would be like when you look at the party songs detracted from the like ballads, they feel like they would match up in like sections for me. Like Love Money Party and Get It Right feel like they would be like together. And like Do My Thing and FU honestly feel like they would be together as well. So for me it makes sense. You gotta do the love and then the party. And then back to the love and then the party and then the heartbreak and then the party.
Where's the money?
Yeah, where's the money? That's what
In
I want to
the
know.
Love Money Party Get It Right section.
We
Yeah.
need the money in this recession,
Cause
girl.
cause clearly she was, cause I don't think Get It Right is about like Liam.
What? Okay,
Like
so
I think like Get It Right's like very much like I just want to have sex. Like I'm gonna break from my man. Like, can I just have sex with someone right now? Love Money Party.
I'm getting it.
See, it makes so much sense to me. So like that's why I was like when you were like, oh yeah, no, 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 like I'm not getting it. And I'm like, well, I get it.
I- And you can get it. You get it, and I love that you get it.
I so get it.
You get it right.
Hashtag
But we can't
all
get it wrong.
caps.
I
Yeah.
mean, it really is just like love ain't nothing but love when you learn how to love it ain't nothing but love. And at the end of the day, that's the message that everybody needs to take away from this.
Yeah.
I feel like that
Well,
would be a really good like yearbook sign off. Like
like a senior quote,
yeah, like senior quote. Love
Love
ain't
Money
nothing but
Party.
party ain't nothing but a party when you party every day and ain't nothing but a party.
nothing but a party. I love how she's saying it too. Like she's like making like this like profound philosophical
Well,
revelation.
because
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Well, that
And
is
then she
true.
really
It's
lets her accent
that is
come through. She's
true.
like, when you party every day, it ain't nothing but a party.
Nothing but a party. Nothing but a party.
And on the tour, she'd go, I party every day, ain't nothing but a party. Like she would say it like in her country accent. You
Oh
gotta
my
go watch it.
gosh. That's too
Uh,
funny.
it's really a philosophical statement. I really think it
Yeah.
is.
Well,
Yeah.
Bangerz is a thesis.
Clearly, and you defended it, babes.
Yeah.
Girl J store.
I'm gonna do my thing.
J store ain't nothing but a J store when you J store every day, and it nothing but a J store.
I mean,
Okay, Maria, what are we doing next week?
so next week we're gonna be talking about a brand new release, which is exciting. And it's Fancy That, the new mixtape from Pink Pantheress.
Fun.
So
Whoop.
get ready. Everyone that listens to the podcast and the episode should just do their homework because it's only 20 minutes. So just listen to it beforehand because it won't take you that long. You know, it's not like you have to listen to us talk about something for an hour and 45 minutes plus listen to like an hour-long album. So I'm just saying, like, you can do it. But yeah,
Well,
that's what we'll be talking
Cool.
about.
yay, excited, excited.
Fun.
Yay. Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
This is the part.
Um,
Okay, Maria, do you want
yeah,
to go
Maria,
first?
you go first.
I'm going first. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go party because I party every day and it ain't nothing but a party.
Well, I'm gonna go do my thing.
Uh, I'm gonna go get it right and listen to all the pasting of bangers
Oh.
in my brain.
Girl, I gotta drive my heart into the night, and we can't
Yeah.
stop.
Put
And
your
every
hands in the
pop
air.
and every Pop Girlies listener, you're my darling.
You know,
And we're rooting for my baby.
I'm gonna go think about what Drew said about the narrative of the album, and you know what? Maybe you're right.
Ooh.
Oh, that's it.
Wait, that's it. Cut the camera, dead
Shanti,
ass.
bye.
Bye, bye.
Bye.